Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Can everybody hear me well? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Y'all hear me? Okay, thanks, Janice. So, again, happy Monday to everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I hope you had a great weekend. Let me welcome those that I see in the chat so far. Give me a minute, y'all. Okay. So, it looks like I have Jackson Tabasco, Bond, the 5Gs, Janice, Miss Buckeye, I Said What I Said, Senna, Who Dat, Jamila, and Shay. And I see Marjan just joined. Did I miss anybody? So, how was everybody's Easter or Resurrection Sunday? Let me see if I can see these comments. Vaughn says hers was glorious. Okay. Shay says her day was wonderful. Marjan says she can't see. So I had a great day yesterday. Didn't have to cook a lot. Hey, Sharon Reed, welcome. Spent some time with my youngest son, just chit-chatting and talking about his life. Found out some things that's going on with him that he hadn't previously shared. So y'all saw the topic, do we really have time? I know that we talked recently about time, but because time is so important, I wanted to talk some more about time. So, of course, I have a question for everybody. And my question is, between time and money, which would you say is most important? Put a T in the chat if you think time is more important, and put an M in the chat if you think money is more important. Between time and money, which one do you think is most important? Okay, so I see so far everybody's saying time, time, time. I'm waiting for an oddball. Time, 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 time. Who that says that time is money? Okay. Hey, Wanda, how are you today? Real says that money is more important. I'm going to come back to you, Real, because I want to know why you say that. But I'm going to. Okay. I was. I'm glad you said you were kidding because I was about to have a whole conversation with you, brother. So, anybody else? Wanda, when it comes to time and money, which one do you think is most important? Time or money? Exactly. You can't get your time back. Right, Wanda? So, as for me, I believe that time is right up there with oxygen. Dawn says she wants money, though. Yeah, we need money. Let me leave this up here for a minute so everybody will know who the soul session is. So, you can hit the lottery for millions of dollars, but without time, is it really as valuable as it seems? When it comes to grief, one of the most important things that many of us reflect on is regretting the time that we no longer have with that loved one. I remember as a teenager and early adulthood thinking that I had all the time in the world. But as I look back over my life, I realized that I wasted so much time and money. While I've lost and gained money, I can never regain time. The older I get, the more I realize how truly precious time is. I urge everyone under the sound of my voice to be careful of how you spend your time, especially since none of us know how much time we have left. This is for those in the chat as well as those who may be watching the replay. Also, if you have a skill or talent that someone needs, do not cheapen your time. Don't try to take advantage of people, but know your worth and the value of your time. When I think about time and some of the relatives that have passed on, one of the first people I think about besides my mother is my grandmother. I only had 4 years with my mother and 9 with my grandmother. And even I was I was real young when my mother passed, so I had some time to really get used to my mother not being there. But then I was always used to my grandmother being there. And so as a kid, when I wasn't there when my grandmother passed, I remember even as a kid at the age of 9, I was thinking that I wish I had more time with my grandmother. And I still remember those thoughts that I had when I heard that my grandmother passed away. And then as an adult, I've also had so many relatives pass away. And some of you guys know that periodically I may check in on people who I've had contact with. Um, Sometimes I might send somebody an email if I don't have another way of contacting them. Or I might put a post on YouTube. Hey Mookie, thanks for joining. I might put a post on YouTube because if I start to realize that I haven't seen someone, then I want to make sure that everything is okay. And I'm still a little concerned about Sharon Turner because I haven't heard from her. I pray that all is well with her. But one of the reasons why I check up on people is because of the regret of those who have gone before me. And I feel like I had the opportunity to check in on them, but I just put it off. I kept putting it off. So back in 2012, I believe it was my granddaughter's birthday, and my aunt passed away. And that was in July of 2012. But I had plans to go and visit her in August, but it didn't happen. And then I had an uncle in 2015. He had an injury and he was in rehab. And so I was going out of town, but I said to one of my other relatives, I'm going to visit my uncle when I get back from my trip. Well, as I was on my way to the trip, I got a phone call in the wee hours of the morning telling me that my uncle had passed. And I have so many stories of loved ones passing away, and I didn't get the opportunity to spend the time that I wanted to spend with them. So time is extremely important to me. Today's scripture verse talks about time. So the verse is James chapter 4, verse 14. And it says, how do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone. And as I said, to me, time is right up there with oxygen. I've I've lost money, I've gained money, I've lost money, I've gained money, but whatever time I've ever lost, I've never gained it back. So time is extremely important. I urge everybody to think about that when you say tomorrow isn't promised. Think about what that really, how true that really is, because none of us, regardless of our age. Yeah, I think you did, Wanda. I think you did. But regardless of our age, none of us know how much time we have left on this earth. I've seen people much younger than myself pass away. And I'm sure they probably thought they had much more time. But none of us know how much time we have. So it's important for us to value our time and make the best use of the time we have, not knowing how much time we really have. My what made me really go to grief counseling was one of my first cousins who was like a sister to me because I didn't have any biological sisters. She was like a sister to me, and I got a call on June 28th, 2021. And the person that called me asked, did I hear about my cousin? And I was like, did I hear what? I just talked to my cousin probably a few days before that. And as far as I knew, everything was fine. She was a lot younger than me, but she passed away suddenly. And that really kind of broke me because even though I've lost a lot of relatives in my life, that one I was not expecting. And I just started to think about, wow, the last time we talked, if I had known that she wasn't going to be here, I would have stayed on that phone much more longer just to have a conversation with her. But one thing that I do always try to practice is before I get off the phone or before I leave someone, I always tell them how much I love them. Because and I do my best to show appreciation for people. I do my best to make sure that I give people their flowers while they are here because once they're gone, um, I have yet to see, I have yet to hear of or experience a person who is no longer living smelling flowers or hearing all these great things about them once they're gone. So I just urge everybody to really let those people that you care about know how much you care about them while they are here. Hey, Miss Boogie Down, because we don't know. They could be gone tomorrow, and we could be gone tomorrow. So we have to think about what we're doing with our time and how much how much time we may not be taking advantage of when it comes to other people. So that's all I have to say on this subject. I know, Vaughn, but I think it had to be said. I'm not trying to make anybody feel sad or anything, but I just want everybody to realize that time is too precious to waste. And when we think that we have a lot of time, we really don't. We don't know how much time we have for real. So they make sure the people that you love in your life know how much you care about them. And whatever way you have of showing your love, show it, because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. And I believe someone said that earlier and I started it. Shay said it. Excuse me. She said tomorrow isn't promised. And that is so true. That's all I have to say on that subject for today. If anyone wants to come up and share anything they have to say about the subject, please feel free to hit the link. And I'm sorry, guys, these comments are going by so fast, and I haven't figured out how to slow them down yet. So forgive me if I'm not catching your comments. But if anyone wants to come up on the panel to talk about time, please feel free to do so. And I really want to keep the subject on time. So you said, wait a minute. See, they're going by real fast, y'all. Senna said, Senna's being bossy now. Senna's telling real, and I said what I said, to get up on the panel. She didn't even say, can you guys get up on the panel? She said, get up there. That's what Senna said, y'all. I didn't say it. That's what Senna said. What did Janice say? Let me see if I can. I've been told I'm annoying sometimes. I know they weren't being rude. I'm always calling or texting. Yeah. Some people might feel that way, but we don't know how much time we have. So if you have to be annoying, just do that. Because like we said, tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. Yeah, send us laughing, y'all.
What else is new? Say that. I'm like, I had to get over here. I'm like, y'all ain't starting tea time without me. I'm like, I got to have my feel. No.
I'm like, I better get on up here because hell, Senator made me.
Santa,
Senator,
well,
yeah,
look,
Senator running it today.
yeah, Santa
Mm,
doesn't usually tell people what to do, so
I tell you what,
she's
Alice.
Well,
You sure got some bossy people in your chat. I ain't gonna tell you. You sure got a bossy.
Mhm.
You got the most bossiest channel I ever seen, child.
Oh my gosh. Pop
Yeah,
out, pop
baby.
out. Mhm. I don't know. I'm just
what
like,
y'all have to say about time?
I'm gonna let I said what I said go first. But
Okay, well.
uh, I'll let you gap first unless you want me to gap first.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
Ladies first.
Both of us gonna talk anyway, so it don't.
Right, right. There's no point in even setting an agreement right now.
Right. We got a lot to say anyhow, child. So,
Y'all asked for it, so
right, yeah. Send some of us up here so y'all sit back and get y'all tea and let's talk. Let's talk about it all.
get your
But
tea, get your bonnets, get your girdles. Let's go.
and your popcorn. So let's go.
And
But basically, oh yeah, Marjan, you kicks it off. You in blue. But as far as time go, you are so right about that. Because a lot of times, um, we miss our timing on so many things. And even if it's just reaching out to a relative, like you said, I'm going to go visit somebody, and you procrastinate and you put it off, or sometimes it's not even a procrastination, you just schedule it at the wrong time. um
Right.
a, a lot of times, it's just everything that you do. Sometimes your timing can just be totally off. You may visit someone at the wrong time. You may call them at the wrong time. You may not get there in time. And I used to have a hard time getting to work on time. I really
Me too.
did. Huh?
Me too.
black people problems. Well,
Yeah, yeah, baby. I'm forever on CPT time for real.
right.
And so I thank God that I just made it through them years, on that job, because if I was gonna get fired, time would have been the reason why. And it wasn't even that
Mhm.
much time. It would only be I could be sitting in the parking lot 5 or 10
Mhm.
minutes before it's time to go, before it's time to clock in. Why will I wait 2 minutes before it's time to clock in before I get out that car and go walk in the building? And it's just something about being on time for me. I never have been able to master that. If I'm going out of town, even today, no matter what if I schedule a time, more than likely I'm probably gonna be late. Even if I schedule a live, more than likely I'm probably gonna be a couple of minutes late. It's just something about time with me that
Mhm.
I just can't get it right for whatever reason. I try, and a lot of times if I'm planning on going somewhere, I'll get dressed an hour ahead of time. Like even when I just make doctor's appointments, right? And it don't
Mhm.
even take that much time to drive there. I'm already ready. But will I walk out this house before 15 minutes before it's time to go? No, I will not. And then I'm speeding trying to get there, jeopardizing my life and everybody else's life because I just sat here and just waited for too much, just
Right.
wasting the time. And so that's one thing that I really need to work on is not wasting time because it is precious. And it's one
Mhm.
thing that you can never get back.
Mhm.
You never
Absolutely.
can, yeah, you never can get your time back. And so that's all I wanted to say about it for right now because I see it's other people up here. So I'll go ahead and let you guys speak about the time.
Mhm.
Okay. Let Jamila go
Of course.
because I know you're gonna have a lot to say. So
No, I ain't gonna do that to y'all this time. Mm-mm.
Hello, everyone.
hey
Hey.
Jamila.
So,
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on time. Why is time more valuable to me? Because as everybody know by now that I lost my daughter, she was only 22, and I feel like that time was taken from me. And I feel like I wasted time too, as far as spending as much time as I possibly could with her. Because you just don't think like you will wake up and then one day and you will lose your child. Nobody thinks like that. You just move
Right.
on with life and you just live in life, not thinking like anything tragic will happen to you like that. But yeah, that's why time is more valuable to me because I feel like I didn't get enough time with her. She was only 22. Her daughter didn't get enough time with her. And I feel like she didn't get enough time, living and experiencing life, she was young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, time is more valuable to me, definitely, than money, because you
Mm,
can't get that time back once they're gone.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially when someone passes and they're young like that. I think my son's best friend, I think he was like 22 when he passed away. And that is even more tragic to me, regardless of how they pass. But to know that somebody that young
Right.
didn't get to experience more in life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I
Of
wanted to say. Yeah.
But thank you for coming up. Um, I love and appreciate you always. And
course.
you are welcome to come on this panel anytime you feel like it.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
Stay
take
And
care.
give
blessed.
my baby a hug and a kiss for me.
I
And take
sure will.
and take care of yourself, Jamila. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Yes,
Indeed.
I have to. I said what I said. If I don't take care of me, who gonna raise her
Well,
and them other
Right.
kids?
Right. I
Even
got
though they're
you.
grown, but they still need, that mother love
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I can understand what you're saying because I don't feel like I had enough time with my mom or my brother. So I wholeheartedly understand what you're saying
Yeah,
when it comes to that situation. But
mm-hmm.
but we do have to take care of ourselves and, just, move on
yeah,
and go on.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What's wrong, Bungo? Yes, indeed. I'm about
Okay,
to
I'm
say,
gonna go back to the chat.
All righty. Love you, Miller.
Okay, love you
have a
too.
good one, Miller.
You too.
Mhm.
Okay. Real, what you have to say?
Now my bird was giving me this weird look. Make sure I give them some attention. Um, so with time, right? I'm gonna just do a quick little three parts, and I'm literally gonna be quick.
Hmm.
So who just did that?
It wasn't me.
I heard that like, mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So the reason why this is just my observation and my opinion on things with time. Time is important, and time is important now because back then time didn't used to be an aspect for us because when we were created by God, we used to live so much longer. We used to live 2, 3, 400 years, 500, 800 years or something. And then something happened. Not really sure, but I have my thoughts on it. Something or someone or whoever, or some lord that tinkered with stuff. And now we can only live to a maximum amount of years. Now, the reason why I believe people don't be on time at certain places and they always have this action where it's just like, I know I need to do this. I know I have to do this. And I strongly and firmly believe that is because you're not living inside your purpose and you're doing something that has been created by this system to fill that time for you to make money, which is just some paper that somebody told that there was value to. And now you're doing something to fill that void that's not naturally within you. It's like you're not naturally using your talent or your skills for your time. So that's why a lot of people feel they're dreaded with their work or dreaded with these tasks or dreaded with these things, such as like, okay, I got to go to this work and I got to get on this computer and I got to do this coding. And it's like, is that really natural or not? So you
Yeah,
feel like,
I hate to interject, but I agree with you 100% on that because I've been on jobs where I got to the point where I actually hated my job. And one job in particular, I would get like 3, 4 blocks away from the job and I would just get a headache. That's how much I hated my job.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, I
mm-hmm,
get that.
I've never
yes.
hated a job.
Yeah. I had a couple.
But I've always and I don't mean to interrupt you, real, but
No, go
I,
ahead.
I don't know why, but I've always enjoyed every job that I've had.
Okay, if you don't mind me
I did not like what I was doing
doing,
necessarily.
yeah,
It
that's what I
was
was
the
going.
people that made my just made it miserable, especially those in
In
management.
charge, in management, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pay them in that much of attention, though. 'Cause I really did. I had a very stressful job. Well,
Hmm.
everybody else was stressed except for me because I like the job, and and I guess I'm hard headed or whatever. I don't know. I just do things my way, and I didn't really care about what the management said because I just did it. I just know on jobs. I've always known how to get around whatever they're saying that they want or whatever, and I would
Hmm.
do the bare minimums of what they told me to do just so to keep them off my back. So that's how I handle jobs with the stress with that because the jobs to me were so fulfilling to, whereas the management didn't really matter that much to me. But I do understand what you're saying, Alice, because it was a lot of people that were stressed out on a lot of jobs that I had.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because you're not living inside your purpose, but I can see that you're one of those kind of people who you have a built-in knack to be able to adhere to a skill. So the jobs that you probably were drawn to, it didn't bother you because you were probably working within your creative skill or your purpose. So to you, it was just kind of like a breeze.
Yeah, it really was because I worked with mental patients and I loved it. I just loved it for some reason.
Yeah. See, then your
And
probably purpose is to help people or to just you
yeah,
had a nurture side to you. Yeah, nurture, not nature, nurturing side to you.
but
Yeah,
I've
I
had
also
all
had
kind of jobs though.
I had another job where the only reason why I am not on that job today, I believe, was because they downsized. I loved my job. I was doing customer service
Hmm.
and helping people, and especially when people show appreciation.
Hmm.
I absolutely loved that job, and it paid well too. But
Right,
Hmm.
unfortunately, things, happen.
right. I did
Hmm.
customer service also. But
Sure.
I've had an array of jobs, and that's why I said I just don't I just can't remember a job that I just didn't like. And they were different types of jobs. It wasn't all the same type of job. But I just think I was just used to working though because I started working at 12 and I just got used to working or whatever. So maybe that's what the problem is because if I wasn't working, that's what made me, feel weird when I wasn't working. And that didn't happen too often either because I stayed in the work. When I got in the workforce, I really never got out other than just to have a couple kids and maybe a couple surgeries. And that would be the longest that I would stay off work.
Mm.
Even when my mom passed, they were like, well, you can take off some more time. I'm like, no, I have to get back to work because that'll help me move on. Not that I could get over it, but help me get through it. But I just can't sit around every day. But I do well sitting around every day now. I don't have a problem with it. But
Yeah, and it's quite all right, you know.
yeah, but I didn't never. But I had to learn how to sit down every day though. It wasn't easy for me to do it though. It's just it wasn't a natural process for me. I really had to learn how to sit down every day. I really did.
But if that was instilled inside you, see, like me, I have a strong wall up for this subject that I'm about to say, and I know probably some of the guys that y'all probably know are probably be like, what he talking about? So I have a strong belief. Actually, it's a knowing that there are no gender specific roles in what you were made to do in this world of when God gives you your creativity or your skill. And this is the reason why a lot of people feel so out of place. Like, you ever seen, like me, I noticed some women can be more stronger willed than men. And a lot of men don't want to hear that. They're like, no, da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I agree with y'all. If you're the right kind of guy, a woman can submit to you. But I notice a lot of women are strong willed. So if you're strong willed and you have that innate ability inside you, there's certain jobs and certain things that you're just not gonna want to do. And there's even scriptures to like back this up because there's certain things that women did inside the Bibles, and I was just like, oh, like You know, there's a couple who was wrestling in the fields with each other, and him and his wife used to wrestle, and she used to, do this and bow hunt and all that kind of stuff. Then there's another story of someone who was just like, I created you and raised you up in the wilderness for my pleasure so that you could become the best bow hunter. Like that was the skills that was put inside somebody. And I'm just like, when I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, now this is making a whole lot of sense. Each person is just going to have a different thing that they're going to want to do. And then society has made it where it's like, no, no, that's not true. Like I've been overseas and I've seen women in Germany that were like my size and bigger, but yet they're supposed to be like a womanly this or that or something like that. They're naturally 6'2", 6'3", 200 something pounds, or some women have this natural apt to um take on both roles. And that's because sometimes a lot of men out here, right, because they've wasted women's time, a woman has no choice but to assume both roles. But then guess what, they'll be faulted in society for assuming that role. But it's just like, well, that person didn't want to sit down and take time to love you. They wasted your time, which a lot of men do to women or women do to men. They just waste people's time. So if you're getting your time wasted, it's like you can't sit there and just wait. You got to skedaddle along with your life and assume those roles. It's like, okay, I can't wait for this man to be doing this. I can't wait for this woman to be doing this. Time is of the essence. So I got to develop these skills myself. But then you'll be faulted for what you do and how you go about it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, it make a lot of sense.
Because a lot of people have been raised in single family homes. They have no choice but to, okay, my time was wasted. This guy's not going to be here. Or this guy just wooed me on for no reason and lied and wasted my time. Then, okay, I'm going to take my time and make the best of it for what God has given me on this earth. Like, you just have to. You just have to. Now, from my understanding, we can get our time back, but in the next realm, according to the scriptures. Meaning, those who are written inside the book alive will be resurrected and, we'll have our new bodies and new this and new that. So that's something that we could look forward to for the resurrection or when we be given our new bodies. Because time is just more so um you don't want to waste it, but then you don't want to be unhappy during your life of going through this like time realm. Like you can't, because somebody has literally made time an aspect of you got to be here at this time. You got to do this. I made these numbers 1 through 12, and I'm telling you got to be here through that. And I've seen in other countries they don't even do that. It's just like they work for like 6 hours and then they
Mm,
get 3 days off and then they get to have 2 hour naps. But this country's not like that. And I'm
mm.
just like, why doesn't anybody know this? Like, you see what they, no wonder they're more efficient than us. So it just makes you think.
Yeah, America has made us feel like, just even with changing a clock back and forth, right? And the reason why they changed the clock up is to give you more work hours. That's how it was, back in the day when they started tinkering with the time. But all it did was, yeah, they had a few more extra daylights, and it was because they didn't have electricity. So they pushed the time up so that you would have more daylight of working. But once technology came into play and the world, America started forming and growing, we really didn't need as much. We didn't need the extra sunlight. And as everybody got electricity in their homes and in the factories, the sunlight was never needed. But did they change the time back? No, they didn't. And they still make you, change your clock. You still spring forward and fall back. And scientists have said that it's messing up your health. It
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 is.
it Yeah, it makes you sicker when they do that because it's tinkering with your time. And so really they're just living here in America robs your time by them pushing the clock back and forth. and then they make you work a lot of overtime here in America because America's a real capitalistic country, and a lot of people, that's all we care about is money in America. That's what the main goal in America is, to make a lot of money and to spend a lot of money. And a lot of people live beyond their means, so they have to go out and work two or three or four jobs, just so they can have
Mm,
a certain standard of life that they want, or what they feel like is comfortable to them, because everybody's standard is different. But America has made us believe that we do have to work hard and we do have to work long hours, and that it's an American patriotic thing, to work all your life and to work hard. They even push Social Security age up. So every time you reach close to Social Security age, then they push it
Mm-hmm.
up another couple of years. So
mm-hmm.
it's like you never can attain the age, because every time you get close to it, they push it up a few more years.
Right.
And it started
Yeah.
out at 62, didn't it? Or I don't, from what I can remember, it started out at 62. And I've never researched it and found out what the real age is when they actually started it. But for as long as I can remember, it was 62, and now it's all way up to 67.
Yeah, and he did that
Mm-hmm.
on purpose because they, in certain parts of the country and world, they're probably noticing that certain people, this not everybody, but if you got the eyes to see it, a lot of these people are working harder and longer and stronger for some odd reason in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I'm just like, huh. So now that's why they're pushing it up. They're not gonna push that part out, but
Hmm.
I've
If you make
seen
it to that age,
if you make if you
yeah, because you work so hard, a lot of times you don't even get to make it that age. And that's the problem. If you work so hard, and that's exactly what happened to me. I had to retire early because I started early and I worked too hard in my life. And so now I have to, now I'm hoping I make it to Social Security age. And I think, Vaughn put it in the chat, and I was gonna say that before
I'm
she
looking
put
at
it
that
in there.
too.
The point is for you not to make it,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
so they
Mm-hmm.
can keep the money, and the money is still for them, and then you don't even get to get it because you're no longer here.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
April. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Yeah, because it's just weird because, like I said, I know certain people might contend with what I say, but if you've been seasoned with being able to like travel to different places, like when I was younger, I was able to see different things, speak with different cultures, and I wasn't afraid to like ask different cultures about things, whether they be like African, South American, this, that. And it's like with some of them, it's like it doesn't matter. Like they don't care. Some people do care, and some people is just like, well, oh, well, my ancestors, back in the 1800s and early 1900s, we didn't worry about nothing, and we living off the coastline and really not worrying about this and stressing. And then I'm just like, huh, like if you look at some of the Caribbean cultures or some of the Asian cultures, for some odd reason they live long. They live a little bit longer. Well, depending on what they eat, and it just makes you look and think like, what is this system here? I mean, a lot of us probably already know, but it's just made to just, I won't say waste time, but consume it.
Consume it and drive you as much as they can. They in America, in my opinion, they get as much as they can out of you, and then I think it's a Shay, and you're absolutely
Hey,
right.
y'all.
A lot of times when you do retire, you're so sick you can't even really enjoy retirement.
No,
Yep.
no, 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 you can't. I see so many people worrying about money. Like some of my boys, like, oh, you should be doing this and you should be making millions and blah, 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 blah. And then it's like now they're talking all this stuff, but then it's just like now they got to hop on HRT and hormone replacement therapy and take this and take these pills and stuff. And I'm like, you're literally chasing after this dollar. Like I get it, that's in some people's mindset, but it's just like, what happens when they switch to standard over? Just like what they did before. It used to be gold standard, then it went to like silver. Then he took it away and put certificates. Then he took the certificates away and made it like dollar, dollar bills. Who knows? This next phase might be, oh, we want to take it away and now it's going to be all digital, And then it's just like, what do you do? How
Well,
do
I had
you?
I, I had a lot of people um, criticize me for downsizing in my home and moving out of the city and giving up things that I had, because when I was working, I had a better home and I lived in the suburbs, and I had a pretty modest life. And when I retired, I was like, well, I don't need all this stuff anymore. The kids are gone, and I've kind of, fulfilled my purpose. I've did everything I wanted to do in the city, so now I'm going back to the country so I can chill. And
Hmm.
even my child told me, well, you're not gonna live in the hood with black people. You're not used to that. I said, that's exactly where I come from. I said,
Hmm.
I was only able to leave. I put y'all in a different neighborhood because I wanted you guys to go to better schools, and it's because I could afford to do that. And I said, but now that I'm retired, I still can afford, but I don't want to afford it. I don't need to afford it, and I'm not too good to go back to where I come from. I said, they still my people, and I'm still gonna live the way that I want to live. I'm just not gonna live as well as I lived. I don't have to have a pool anymore, and I don't have to have, be in the suburbs and, just live a high price life when it's not necessary anymore. My kids are already grown. They've already went to the schools I wanted them to go to. So in my mind, I fulfill my purpose and I fulfill my goals. So, and it's just me now. So, I bought a cheaper home, but I paid for it for cash. And thank God I did, because look at the economy now, you know.
Thank you.
Um,
Yes.
I'm just glad I made those I made some pretty good decisions. So now I don't have to worry about struggling, because in just a minute I feel like it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be homeless,
Of
and
course.
they're not going to be able to afford where they're living, and you don't even have to be the suburbs. It's just your standard everyday American living. They're making it so difficult to where people are not going to even be able to afford to drive their cars or live in their homes any longer.
They gonna push them up in them stackable cities or something like that. That's why I think they introducing gentrification right now. This is my thoughts
And
on it.
yeah, and they're doing that in all areas, in all cities, small and large.
Mhm.
They're making their neighborhoods so unaffordable and unattainable, and I just don't know where the people are gonna go.
Mhm. Mhm.
They don't
I
care about
mean,
that.
no, they don't care, and it's just like, but I mean, just like the scriptures say, what they say, things are gonna get so high that you're gonna have to pay like a day's wage for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
So it's just like if we're, but this is why learn your skills and be with like-minded people and have a good family. And this is why when you have time, I tell people, stop messing over people and mucking over people, because when those time come, it's like when God says do what you need to do, or go here, or flee out of this, or leave Babylon, or all that kind of stuff. It's like those people who were just outright just disgusting and evil. It's like, who's gonna want to accept them unless they have a change of heart or a change of mind? Other than that, that's what it's going towards, you know?
Well, at the end of the day, it's gonna be like when C-19 happened, because see that unveiled a lot and it uncovered a lot, right?
Hmm.
Everybody that was living beyond their means, everybody that had a business that and the account, the math wasn't mathing for you, it pulled the wool it pulled the wool off everybody's eyes. Even some of those banks went, everybody was like pulled to the forefront. And everybody, because America, we like to cheat a lot and we like to fake a lot, right? So all of these
Hmm.
companies that was faking, and all of these companies that really didn't have the capital like they play like they had, a lot of them went under. And I feel like that's what's getting ready to happen again. It's like they're going to make everybody go under, and it's done on purpose. It's
Hmm.
done so that you can have two classes. Either you're going to be super rich or you're going to be super poor. It's not going to be a
Hmm.
middle class. It's not going to be an in between anymore. And in my opinion, people are going to just start falling like dominoes. So what people need to do, and the best thing that we can do while we're managing our time, we better be managing our money also, and managing and making sure that we make good choices. and not buying things that we just don't have to have, and
Right.
only purchase things that we have, that we need, not the things that we want.
Yes, I'll be trying to tell some of our family members and peoples that, I mean, I'm hoping that they change. But every time when we used to travel or go on a trip, I need my new this, I need my new clothes and this and that. And then me, I would just have my same, 12, 13 pairs of sneakers and clean them, keep them good, and, do what I do. And I could have gotten it, but I didn't. Or like I'll buy like something called Rit Dye and I'll just re-dye my shirts and stuff. It was just something that I wanted to do because sometimes
Hmm.
you buy a piece of clothing and you never see that clothing again. And then like, dang, this is my favorite piece. So I'm gonna preserve this for as long as possible. And then it started ringing on them like, you know what, maybe, what you said actually meant something. Because then it's like, okay, you're buying this just to try to impress somebody or impress these people. And then guess what? It's like that's out of season. And then those people are still going to think something about you anyway. You could buy whatever you want. You could try to impress one. They still going to have some other thought about you. Like it doesn't matter to try to impress somebody. You do it for yourself, not for
Right.
others.
Right. Well,
Right.
I've always operated that way anyway, real.
Hmm.
I've always done what I want to do, not for whatever, you know, in life. If you just live life and make yourself happy and make your family happy, and just do things that you want to do or what you feel like is best, and not worry about everybody else, it'll be a lot less stress on you. And to me, you'll have a more productive life when you're doing things because that's what you want to do, not because you're trying to, impress somebody else. So that's one thing that I've never, had to, that's one thing that I've never done in life is try to impress anybody else. I really never have. I've always just did things the way I wanted to do them or because I wanted to do them. And it was never because somebody was watching me, or I'm trying to, be the big man on the campus or anything like that. Whatever I did is because that's something that I wanted to do.
See, like that's a good thing. And see, I like being transparent in certain things. Like when I was younger, I used to fall into that trap, like trying to impress others, trying to
Yeah.
fit in, trying to do that. And I know a lot of people don't want to admit that. I'm like, I do. I'll admit it. I was one of those people when I was younger, before I started knowing more, finding myself, and my senses started coming to me. And I'm like, this really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't.
Right.
Those same people 5 years, 10 years from now, you don't see them no more, or they're, in another place, and they just it really doesn't matter. Like you want it to matter, but it has no meaning, but making you feel better. If you got a hole that you need to fill,
Mm.
it's filling that hole. That
Right.
so
It has no value to it when you're trying to impress everybody else. So you should
Absolutely.
just try to impress yourself
oh
because
yeah.
that's who matters the most is you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do now. Now I just
Yeah.
kind of don't care. Like someone like, oh, you go on live and you do this, or you try to, make people laugh or motivate people and dancing all over the place. And it's like, yes, and what are you doing with your life?
All
What are
right.
you doing besides sitting there complaining and using up all the resources and just being a crumb snatcher? It just, but I'm sure everybody has their own. I strongly believe that everybody has their own purpose and their own reasoning.
Yeah,
For
they do.
being.
They do. And and I just want to say this about time. Um, Alice, you said that you talked to one of you didn't get to talk to one of your cousins, or you had just talked to one of your cousins, and
Mhm.
then they passed. That's exactly what happened to me with one of my uncles. Um,
Hey, Blue.
I spoke to my uncle, and he was trying to get in contact with the rest of my family, and nobody would take his call because nobody wanted, I really was the only one that would just sit there and listen to him talk all the time.
Hmm.
And because I'm a talker, it didn't bother me. But sometimes we would stay on the phone for hours. But the younger people in the family didn't really want to be bothered with him. You know how you have that one family
Yeah.
member nobody really want to talk to. Well, it didn't bother
Uh-huh.
me to talk to him. We would stay on the phone for hours. But my sister and them, they really didn't want to talk to him, and my cousin them, and he was just trying so hard to call them, and they would ignore his calls. And finally, he called me. He said, "Well, would you call your sisters and would you call your brother and just try to tell him that I'm trying to contact him? And I was like, okay, Uncle Junior. And me, I'm like, well, if people don't want to be bothered, stop chasing folks that don't want to be bothered with you. That's just my attitude. And he's like,
Mm.
no, I really want to talk to him. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and call him and I'll make them call you. And so everybody called him except for one person, and she was devastated because she didn't call him. And she said the same thing you said. She was like, I wished I would have called him because I just didn't know. I said, see, sometimes, when people tell you things, you ought to take heed and you ought to listen. I said it was a reason why he was trying to call everybody. And he did. It took him a whole month, but he got in contact with the whole family. And we didn't know why he wanted to talk to all of us one by one and, just spend a little time with us. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even know. But all of a sudden, he wasn't here, and she missed that opportunity to speak to him that one last time, and it haunts her to this day. So
Yeah. Can't get that time back.
you can't get that time back. Hey, Blue.
Hey, hey, Blue. Um, well, that's where I was going to go with my next part of a question that I'm going to ask all of y'all. I'm sure all of you have experienced this, right? Now, you know that we all have some sort of compassionate side to us, and we've all tried to reach out to certain people, preferably family members, whether it be an aunt, mom, brother, sister, dad, aunt, it doesn't matter, or a friend that we've had inside of our life that we've considered close. And time after time again, you've put yourself on the floor for them. You put yourself out there for them. If you've given them time, you reached out. And then unfortunately, they can give you their butt to kiss, or they don't really seem interested, but you really, it's like, okay, this is family. This is a friend. You're telling me this title. I'm doing this thing with you. You're telling me that we're friends. You're telling me that we're a lover. You're telling me that, okay, we're cousins, we're brothers, we're sisters. And then there comes a time when you shift your ways to doing something else. Like, okay, obviously my time is not valuable to you. You don't respect it. I'm going to start doing something else. I'm going to be with other people that can accept my time, that can accept me, accept my energy, right? Now you can go on about that, and then years later down the line, those same people, because they were running after so many different other people or siding with this family member, and then they realized, dang, this person wasn't for me. These people were evil. This person was so toxic. Now these people try to come back into your life years later, family members, friends, whoever, and now they want you to kind of give them time. Now it's, oh, can you call me? You don't hit me up, or you're not showing me any attention. I've experienced that, but now it's just like, since I've shifted my attention and my goals and my calling of what I have to do, what do y'all do inside of a situation like that? Have y'all experienced that? And since these
Mhm.
people have wasted your time, what would you do now as these people come to you in an older age or in dire situations? What would y'all do?
Well, I would just give them the time that I wanted to give them, if I wanted to give it to them, if I feel like they deserve it. So
Hmm.
that's what I would do. I wouldn't,
Understood.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't hold it against them because they didn't have time for me in the past. Because we all mature and we all make mistakes, and we all have different agendas, and we all have a different path of life. And, like, for an example, when if you're married, you don't have as much time as a single person have to give to you, right? Or if you
Mhm.
have children and you have a family, sometimes you want to give your friends time, but you don't have that time to give to them because you're obligated to give your time to your immediate family. So sometimes people just, they may want to be with you, or they may intend to spend time with you, but they just don't have the time. And I remember when I was married and when my children were in school and, at home, it just wasn't enough hours in the day.
Mhm.
So you have to look at the situation and the reason why they wasn't spending time with you. And now, they may have a little bit more time than they had in the past. So if it wasn't, if they brushed you off and it wasn't malicious or selfish, and it was because that they were busy, then, you have to handle it, according to what the situation was. And even if they were, it depends on how you feel, and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
gracious you want to be. So
yeah.
really, only you can answer that.
Cause yeah, I mean, I knew these people had time to spare, and it's like, okay, catch me while you can. I'm trying to
Yeah,
be that good family member, and I know they had time. They just chose to want to be around toxicness or go do this or party or keep accepting nonsense. And then every time something happens, they come running to you. Oh, this happened, and oh, your cousin did this, your uncle did this, and I'm
yeah.
like, why don't you just, hey, let's go on an excursion, take your mind off of it. Hey, let's go to the city, let's do this. And then they were just,
But we also have to understand that everybody don't have our level of maturity, our level of thinking, and everybody mature at a different age. Because see,
Thank you.
you can be old and still not be mature,
I
right?
see that now.
And so you have to take people for you have to take people for whatever level that they own, because you haven't you just told us that you haven't always been as mature as you were. So that's when I say you have to have a little grace for people. So
Hey,
that's all I'm
Joy.
saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I was
So
looking all over for Blue inside the chat. I'm like, she must have hidden me or blocked me. I don't see her down there. And I'm sitting up here just yapping,
now
yammering off, and didn't even realize she was up here on the panel. Like,
yeah,
I
she's
didn't
on the
even,
panel. She's waiting patiently on the panel.
let me shut my trap. Let Blue get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, let me just throw in that I agree with I said what I said because life isn't really about how people treat you. It's how you treat others.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So you just make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't worry
Oh,
about when somebody else is doing the wrong thing because
oh yeah, yeah.
when we stand before God, He's not going to ask us what anybody else did.
Yeah, I
We're going to
can
have to be
agree.
accountable for ourselves.
Because worrying about too many other people's stuff that can cause you to fall down to a lower level, a lower density. Worrying about somebody else too much, if you're
Absolutely.
not doing it right.
Absolutely.
So, Blue, you have something to say?
Good evening, Alice. I said what
Good
I
evening.
said, real odds and evens and
Hello,
chat.
Blue.
How is everyone doing?
I'm great.
Great.
I'm great
Indubitably great.
too. I'm on vacation, but you know me.
Yup.
um,
Come on up. Come
did I
on.
say hey chat? If not, hey everybody in the chat. I
You
see you all
did.
speaking. I'm not in the chat typing
Hey,
today. But I have something to say about the topic, which, if y'all have listened to me at all, is a little bit of a different spin on it. Um, so, time has to be more than a four-letter word, it has to be more than numbers on the clock or the world's calendar, right? Time has to be a mindset. It has to be something we think of consciously, meaning we actually spend time and not think of it passively. Time has to be like the air we breathe and the water we need to survive. It has to become one with us and we become one with it. We can have all the money in the world because earlier Alice asked what's more important, time and money. Most of the chat said time. We can have all the money in the world, but if we don't have a good sense of time management, which is what I said earlier, each dollar becomes less and less important and less valuable. So oftentimes I've said, and I've heard other people say, I don't have time, or we didn't get the opportunity. But if we take time to think about it, could it be that we chose to procrastinate? Right? That's a huge thing, I think, with every individual. At some point, we've procrastinated and it's just become the natural, normal thing to do because we're thinking of time in the human, natural sense, right? Not
yeah.
thinking of it further in the spiritual sense. If we look back at situations, we find ourselves saying, man, I wish I had more time. But here again, we had the time, but we didn't choose, right? It's a choice to use it wisely. We've allowed ourselves to be deceived. We've lied to ourselves. We've convinced ourselves that we got time, we can do it later. But it's been my experience in my soon to be 36 years that
Girl.
that we just it's my experience that we just didn't use the time wisely. Um it took time to get into the mindset of we have time, and now we struggle to get out of that mindset. Time does not belong to us. We don't own it. We don't even have the rights to it, right? We don't have dominion or control over time. God gives us an X amount of hours a day, and we are all charged with the same duty to understand that everything there's a season and a time, as it says in Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. Um, we have to get into the correct mindset and consciousness of time, because there is a time to be born, to be laid to rest, to be planted, to be plucked, to be healed, break down, so on and so forth. If you want to know what I'm talking about, Google Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. Um, so whether we want to make time for these things, it's inevitable that they're all going to happen to each and every one of us. There is a time and a season, and I think we need to work on, individually and as a whole, we need to work on shifting the way we visualize in our natural mind what time is, right? Um, Same with money, right? So we all have something we can do better in these areas. We have to ask ourselves, when are we going to not make time, right? Because we can't make time. This is not a kitchen with flour and sugar and butter, right? We can't make time, but we can choose to use the time that we've already been given to make better choices. Time is like a gift, and how each of us choose to understand a gift is different. But I think we should really, um, today, right now, each of us should really take time to think, how do we do with a gift, right? How do we treat a gift? Do we take it in the corner and just leave it there, or do we rip it open and enjoy it while we can, right? So that's my 2 cents or 20 cents on the topic of time. And thank you, Alice, for this topic today. That's all I had to say. I'm going back on vacation.
Mm.
Well, thank you, Blue. And thank you for inspiring me to read Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
Yeah, I mean, most
Since we're talking
definitely.
about time, to
Yeah.
everything there is a season and a time
Yes.
to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath that worketh in that wherein he labored? That's just 1 through 9. So thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. When I one of my best friends passed away many years ago, I wrote a poem and I included Ecclesiastes chapter 3 because I was thinking, I just kept questioning God. She was like in her early 30s, and I was just asking God why. And God just he just took me to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 because there is a season, there's a time and a season for everything. And once our time is up, it's gone.
That's it.
So thank you again. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming up here on your vacation.
That's right. Great minds think alike. You know me. It's officially tourist season, and so I got to come on and be security up here on the panel.
Well, as Libra would tell you, I'm not sure about anybody else, but as Libra would tell you, a Libra, I meant to say a Brill. As a Brill would tell you, Libra season is the only one that really matters. I'm sure she'd agree.
Okay, well, you know what? We really not gonna go there today because we talking about time, and I'm not finna let you get me into no 3, 4, 5 hour lives. I think it's ridiculous to be on here
Oh.
that long.
Too late.
People really need to understand time management. They don't need to be doing a live for, maybe an hour and a half. You almost to your hour and a half. And now Vaughn is up here. She's going to want to talk for 16 more hours. Listen, I don't have time to talk to you about Taurus season versus Libra season, but moving on.
Now, before your birthday and before you went on vacation, your high 80s, you were saying Alice wasn't on here long enough. Now she's too long.
I know from the person who had a 4 hour live before she left for the weekend on her vacation.
How
Okay,
Right.
so
quickly
this
people
is the
forget.
thing. Smarty Pants 1 and 2.
No,
Listen,
no, no.
AKA I said what I said, and real eyes are even, and bossy number one, AKA Alice. Listen, I'm allowed to go live for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Okay, it's I'm allowed to do that. Alice is not. Okay, that's the difference.
Oh.
She is not. I'm gonna need you to be off of here. I'm giving you 30 more minutes of time. No, I'm just I had to come up. I thought I was just gonna get up here and be serious until you started. I said what age I'm about to be, and I heard you chuckle, and
Yeah, I
so
did. I
that
did.
opened the
I,
door for
I
me
heard you
to,
lie, so I just laughed at your lie.
well,
Oh.
listen, there is a time to tell the truth and a time to lie, and that was just my time to lie. So
And that birthday
Is that biblical?
that
Oh
birthday got
no.
you real grown, didn't it?
yes,
Yeah,
it
you got
does.
real grown on your birthday, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but yeah. Um, it's on Friday. I'm gonna be real grown on Friday. Yep.
Oh, snap.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. I'm like, oh, snap. We around
I
the
thought it was
same
yesterday. I'm wishing you happy birthday all on the post because I saw somebody wish. I thought I thought I saw somebody say happy birthday and it was your birthday yesterday or something. So
Oh, they may have people might be getting in early while they are getting in the happy birthdays early. Just to put it out there, since we're talking about time, uh, those of you that are going to gift me, you have about 3 days. So use your time wisely and get those packages and stuff shipped. You know, I'm just
now.
playing.
Excuse me. Let's all get her a gift that she don't want. Remember we was talking about that the other day? I'm gonna get you a fruitcake.
Remember, when you do that, real, there's a time to sow
Shanice, we can't
what
see.
you've reaped.
Oh, oh, excuse
There's
me.
a
You
time
always
to
gotta
reap what
come.
you've sowed, so don't do that.
Yeah, let me just chill because I feel like you one of those ones I can't top like you and Ron and I said what I said. It's like let me just chill. Mhm.
what did I
Yeah.
do?
I have been
Yes.
nothing but nice to you. Real? Where
Me
is this
too,
coming
real.
from?
I
No, no,
thought
no,
me and you
no.
were vibing.
We are no, we are vibing, but I know that y'all got this fire inside y'all where it's like I have to chill. Like I would never go past a certain point. We are vibing, but I just know like I know what I know inside, like my feeling of my spirit. Like y'all have this voice when it's time to when God says go, it's like go, it's go time. if that makes any sense. And I
Well,
know it's fire. Like I know
Mm-mm,
what I'm talking
it
about.
don't make no sense to me.
I was gonna say
I'm
messing
living
with
my
me, that be
life
the
like it's
devil telling me to
golden.
go,
Living my
so
life
I'ma
like
just
it's
hush.
golden.
But I
I
didn't want
can.
nothing. I just wanted to come up here with Miss Alice, and I said what I said, and enjoy this moment and bask in this. I just wanted to be included. That's all.
Vaughn, why you
Oh,
wait till I got up here to come up here?
That's the point.
oh.
I meant to text you and be like, wait, why you do that? I peeped that. All this time you had to come up here. You had a whole hour and 18 minutes, and you wait till I come up here. I saw
She's
that.
at that stage. She's at, I know exactly what part she's at too. And it's like with certain people, when you start to climb up to a new level, you want to be around like minded people in their energy. And it's like this compassion side comes and it's just like, it's almost like emotional. I can't explain it, but I know what I'm talking about.
Uh,
It just happens.
mm-mm,
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
What
See, she
Real
said,
said.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, because I know, look, this, I know, I know. Just,
mm-mm.
there's different levels that happen.
I see you, Janice, minding my business. Mm-hmm.
First, Lord.
Her picture or avatar isn't showing.
Whose
Tell
isn't
her she
showing?
has to turn off her camera and allow access to her mic and keep the camera off so that the avatar. Tell her she got to choose a picture behind the scene. It'll ask her to choose your avatar, but she probably has to allow access to her photos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably so. I think you're right, Vaughn.
Mhm.
See, I was needed in this moment.
You
I was
were.
needed.
Come
You
Yeah.
on
always
now.
needed
Look,
Vaughn.
you were on time, Vaughn. He's an on time God. Yeah. Oh,
Right?
this ain't your channel,
Yes,
boo. Go
he
ahead.
is. Come on, y'all.
See?
What? Come on.
This
We can
is
do it together.
choir
No,
rehearsal.
we bind that takeover spirit. I was singing solo, not you.
I'm just saying, it's enough of us up here to make a joyful noise.
Well, I said what I
Not
said.
not
Said
not
that
all
she
of
can't
us ain't
sing.
making no joyful noise.
Shay is singing in the chat.
What's she
It's
singing?
a good thing though. Like this is and speaking of time, ain't this like a fine and grand time to be alive? Like with all these things that are happening and stuff, we're really getting to see like the coming of age. You know what I mean? Like the coming of age and all this stuff that everything's been foretold and everything, the grandeur. It's if you got the eyes to see, it's just like wow. And everybody's gonna be put where they need to be put. Like I didn't even expect to ever be up here on a panel with y'all with like-minded people. Like, like I would think with my fellas and stuff, but a lot of them are just so combative and angry and oh this and that and so set on these values of what society labels. It's just like I just went off on my own. And now, things will fall into place, but it's to me, it's amazing. That's just my own personal
That's
perspective.
because it's not an accident, right? When we come across people on this app, it's not an accident, right? I think about, since Real is the one that's talking about it, I think about how I came across his channel, right? And how I don't even know how that happened, but I don't believe it was an accident. I believe it was the appointed time, right? Let's keep talking about time because this is a very important topic, right? I came across his channel at the appointed time, and behind the scenes he's been able to encourage me in the areas of my channels, right? And he's like he's saying he's didn't think that he would be on panels like this. See, sometimes we look at it and be like, we ask too many questions. How did that happen? Why did that happen? But didn't we just read there is a time for everything, right?
Yep.
Everything. And we don't
Mhm.
know what it means. We don't know when it's coming. All we know for sure about time is A, God gave it to us, and B, God takes it away. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And in the middle of all that, we just got to do what we got to do. We got to go with it. We got to be led by the spirit, the actual spirit, not, you know. what our minds just happen to think of naturally. But we got to go with the flow of the spirit being of a higher power greater than us, right? The power that has time in his hands. You know what I'm saying? It's not in our hands. We just got to be diligent about how we deal with it. So, yeah, stuff is not an accident all the time. Sometimes it's on purpose. So, real, you here in this community, I don't know what I don't know what I mean when I say community, but you understand. You
Yeah, I
here
don't know what you mean either.
for
The
girl, please.
Oblivion
All the
Squad.
people in your thing talking about this community, this community. Alex, don't come for me. Can you wait till after Friday to come for me, please?
Oh, I wasn't
Okay.
coming for you.
Oh,
I was just saying. I was just making a statement, a comment. You
I
know.
guess the community would be a community of like-minded, positive, energetic people that have a goal for one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We, over here, we not all over the place. I mean, I'm blue, so I'm my own individual sector. I'm not really part of nobody community. I'm just saying, but just a group of people with the similar mindset. So real is where he supposed to be at this appointed time. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
Yeah, I guess
hungry
it
and
makes
need
sense.
anybody got a piece of chicken on the panel? I said what
Oh
I
my,
said. You got a piece of
no,
chicken?
no, no, no chicken. But I appreciate you coming up here, Blue, because you reminded me that it was my best friend's birthday. I always miss it. So I guess God is already working with me with my timing. I
There you
finally got
go.
it right this year. I'm telling you guys, this has been my best friend for 50 years, and I never can get her birthday right. I always miss it by a day, or I get it, or I do it too early. And I wrote it down, and when I said your birthday, that's what sparked my memory. Today is her birthday, but it's 5 o'clock, but it's still I got it on time.
That's
I got it
crazy
before
because
12 o'clock.
yeah, that's crazy because one of my best friends' birthdays today too, and I've known her for about 50 years as well.
Yeah, but I bet you wished her happy birthday at 5 o'clock this morning, didn't you?
No, it wasn't 5 o'clock this morning, but it was earlier today.
Yeah. Well, I called her this weekend and told her, I'm gonna try to remember. And she's like, I know you don't mean no harm. And she's like, I know you're getting old. And I'm like, well, you're a couple months older than me, so you're really old. I mean, she's a month older than me, so I always tell her she's older than me. But yeah, I'm just happy that I was actually able to remember her birthday because I
He's an
never
on
remember her birthday on
time
time.
God. Yes,
Hey,
he
praise
is.
God.
So Blue,
Hmm.
Blue, thank you for coming up here today, and I'm talking about birthdays, so I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm always available to make it do what it do. Anytime you need me, just holler. I'll be here.
Yeah, everybody
All
works.
right, Ray Charles, I got you.
Oh,
I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
Y'all, I've been on one lately. Listen, I've been on one lately, but it's on
good.
time.
Yes, and
So
keep it going like that. That same energy right there. Just keep
That's
it
what you
going.
yeah, that's what your birthday do for you. It make you joyful and happy, and if you be
I mean, but
blessed to be
even
here another year, you be I know I'll be blessed and happy when
yeah,
I'm
but
here for
even
another
beyond
year.
that, even beyond just like when we think of it deeper, I think it was one of the last things you just said, to be in the land of the living. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
Um, to be able to say, wow, I'm about to see a year I never even thought ahead to. Like I never said, what am I gonna do when I turn this age? Right? What am I gonna do when I turn 45? You happy, Alice? I said it. I never thought that far. So to be able to be on the cusp of that uh is
Hold on,
truly
I'm a
a
mute. I'm
blessing.
muting for a minute. I got to shout, y'all. I'm muting for a minute. I'll be back.
I knew it was coming. I ain't thinking about you, Alice.
Well, at
He act
least
like
she
that's the
increased it a
first
little
time
bit.
I've said my actual age. I say it all the time. When I give out my address on every other live, my age is in my address. People just don't pay attention. That's all. I always say my age. Alice, it don't take that long to shout.
No,
Hey,
it
I had to
does.
put it.
It
I had
no,
to
it
put
does.
this extra few steps in. Thank you, Vaughn. I need a few more steps.
You did a dance with it too, Alice.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all can be up here and then honestly just talk about stuff and ages and this and kind of stuff. Cause like when me like going with what Blue was saying, it's like I don't even see age as far as whatever. Like, our little community and friendship is just like it's just coolness with like-minded people of the same, like, you know, what I want to say, the spiritual temperature. And that's what I look at it as. Like, and it's just like whenever I keep going, whenever I do certain things, I know some people be like, "Oh, thank you for this and that." I don't even think about it. Like I do whatever I do, and I just kind of just don't think about it anymore, and just go on about my day. Like, and I be forgetting that have done certain things or helped people. I don't even be thinking about it. So it's like,
Thank you for the compliment, Key. Is that KJ?
Real has children who, behave in the background, and I love it because people think it's me, but it's him.
Yeah, because I
Don't say
thought it was
don't
your
do
son.
her.
I thought
oh,
it was you, Vaughn.
I didn't even think y'all paid attention to that. Like, yeah, I just
I got ears like a,
a
I don't know,
hawk.
like a what? I don't miss much of anything
That's
when
another
I
subject.
want to.
Yeah, that's another subject.
Uh, let
Yeah,
me
Blue
drop down
notices
because it's
everything.
a
She
fit.
even knew
Look,
my
let me
children were
drop down
well
because the
mannered.
Bible say it's a time for peace and a time for war, and Alice don't want this to be the time of peace. So I'm gonna leave this whole entire thing, and I'm gonna go back on vacation. Vine, you went
Why
up
you say
because of
that,
me.
Blue?
Vine, you went up because of me. Lord have mercy. I'm going on mute.
Don't tell
I'm
it.
just
It's tea
saying,
time.
I saw Blue up here, and it was like, go up there because Blue's, up there.
Nah, nah,
So
Vine, you came up here because of Marjan. Okay, that's what she said.
what?
So just
When
leave
did
it
I
at that.
say that?
Let her get this time of glory. Okay, it's the time for everything. This her time of glory. Okay, that's
Okay,
why
you
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 came up here.
right.
I ain't had nothing to do with it.
You
Neither did
right.
Jesus. Jesus didn't move on your heart. Jesus didn't tell you go on panel. It was Marjan. Shut up, Blue. I'm going on mute.
Nope. Anyways, yeah, y'all. Why everybody so quiet?
I was waiting on
Uh,
Vaughn to talk.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't have much to say other than I'm just blessed to see 31, y'all. I feel like this year has been the, birth of enlightenment for me. Everybody told me a light was gonna come on at 30 and it didn't happen, but it happened at 31. So, everybody's experience is different. Everybody, light come on or and have their moment of enlightenment or, when they're seeking something and they finally find it. And I feel like you're still seeking, once you find what fits for you, because every day is a journey, okay? And as we get older, we can still learn. And I can honestly say I like that part of that because I used to think when I was little, like, once you grown, you knew everything. But it's like, no, there's still so much more to learn. And, it just gets better and better.
Von, I want to encourage you because I think a light came on for you well before you turned 31. I think it just got better over
Yeah, I think
time.
so too. Because
I
You
certain
know what
agree.
I'm
stuff you
saying?
say.
And I'm still, I can only say this based on watching you write because some people talk off the side of their neck and don't know what they're talking about. Blue's not doing that right now. I'm telling you what I've seen. Blue, stop it. You being messy. I'm telling you what I've seen, Vine. Your light has been there. It's been there. It came on time and it came on a long time ago. But what has happened is that you've just become, you've been able to see it. It's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And sugar, let me tell you something. As bright as it is right now, it's still not to its fullest brightness. You've got so much potential. You've got so much
Mhm.
purpose. You go in places that your eyes have not seen. You go in places that your ears have not heard of. There is so much in store for this vine that's on this panel right now. You know what I'm saying? And so you just keep following that journey of enlightenment. You keep letting that light get brighter and brighter and brighter. You're going to be amazed at the things that God has in store for you. Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. You understand me? So
Mhm.
you just stay encouraged. You stay afloat. You don't let your head go below the water not one time. And when it feel like it's going below the water, God gonna reach out his hand of grace and mercy and pull you right back up. You are in a proper position and posture right now to get everything that God has for you in his timing, not in your natural timing, but in his timing. So I know how that you're saying how you feel, but I have to encourage you and tell you, no, it's been there. That light has been there. And sometimes it was there and others saw it. God allowed others to see it, not you to see it, because sometimes when we see too much at one time, we don't know how to deal with it, right? We just become
Mhm.
flabbergasted and discombobulated, and we don't know how to handle it. So God is doing exactly what he's supposed to do in his timing, which at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Whether you believe in the in however you believe that to be, however you believe God to be. Um, so no, you keep being strong, and allowing your light to shine. Matthew, it says in Matthew, I think it's 5:16 or 5:17, um, let the light in you shine so that others will see God. I twisted
5:16.
it. Yeah, thank you. It's
Mm.
on my all over my channel, but I couldn't remember which one it was. Thank you, Alice. But
You're
you
welcome.
keep doing that. Let the light in you shine, because people gonna see less of you. Vine this, vine that, vine that. They're gonna see less of that, and gonna become more and more. It's gonna become less and less important, and they're gonna see God through you and in you, and that light you have is gonna direct them and you right to where they need to be and right to where you need to be. So stay encouraged, sis.
Blue,
I'm
you
on
got me
vacation. I
Amen.
ain't
rocking
supposed
and
to be doing all
swaying.
this.
I was finna say, you ain't supposed to be doing this. You on vacation.
She's telling the truth, Vaughn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when your light was on a long time ago, you already knew that was on. But you know that once that your light was turned on, it's like there's certain things, and I know you know what I'm going to be talking about right now. There's certain things that you just can't talk about with everybody, because everybody ain't going to understand you. Some people going to think you're crazy. Some people going to do. That's it was already on. It was already on. You just got to learn how to use and cultivate it correctly, if you know what I'm saying. Because once your light's on, you're gonna start wondering, like, well, why am I so into this? And why am I so into that? And what makes me want to go learn about this? And why am I want to watch this? That like your light is on. Because you're now you're trying to learn it. If you know what I mean, like that's just
Mm.
an aspect of it. It's just that's how we deal with it in this physical realm. It's just it's like a side effect, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
So in
Mhm.
accordance with what Blue was saying. Yeah, like I'm just breaking it
I
down even.
just I just want to say, if you're young, cuz see, I've always, listened, but I didn't always listen to, the wiser people cuz I thought I knew everything. But if you're young and when you're, like going through something, listen to the wise people, listen to the people that has lived life.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that they're trying to make you look stupid and beat up on you, or and this and that. It's like everything that they're up here saying. There was a time where I would be behind the scenes rolling my eyes and like, oh my lord, why are y'all doing this? And it's because I just wasn't open
And still
to
do.
hush, Blue. But it's different now because it's not so much ego of I know, I know, I know. It's just listening to understand and even welcome in wisdom, because some people can look at it and feel like, oh, such and such, they just always got something to say. But I've just been doing a whole lot of listening to people, especially when they're talking directly to me, but just listening to people. And I know we're not supposed to say if I could turn back the hands of time, but the truth is there are days, in moments where it's like, man, if I had a listen. But then I also think like, but then I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have learned
Exactly.
from this and learned from that. So don't ever think that it's too late, because that was, kind of what I was going through in life. Like, man, I think I said what I said is like, I missed my moment, I missed my time. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And it's like, no, okay, if y'all don't mind me saying, that's the trick of the devil. Okay, it's the trap of the enemy.
I
Mhm.
missed what
Right.
mo
To
wait a
have
minute,
you.
hold them up. I missed what moment?
No, no, you said that we miss our moment, and our you didn't say moment, but you said we missed the time. Sometimes we miss
Yeah,
time
if
or
we missed
something like that.
if we
Oh,
missed the
oh,
damn
okay.
part,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
sometimes we're too late, you know.
yeah.
We do things too
And
late. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like some people sit in that and think, oh, I can't, do this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, you still can. It just may not be how you initially wanted it to be or what it was supposed to be, but there's still something greater, waiting for you. As
Yeah.
long as we got breath in our body, we ain't 6 feet under, sleeping in our graves. We can do whatever, especially
Absolutely.
if you have an able body, if you still can get up and move around and you're of sound mind, it's never too late, no matter what. As long as you got that, and even for some people, we see the Special Olympics, them people, they still strive for success.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I just look at a lot of my 31 years of life as a blessing. I really do. I know some people probably look at like, why you're still so young, but y'all don't understand why I think the way that I think, and why I feel like, I could have been dead, or I shouldn't be here, or God has really blessed me with more time, you know, but that's just the truth.
I think it's powerful, Vaughn, that you said you are now taking the time to listen, right? That is so powerful. If we would just listen, sometime, not sometimes, all the time, just listen. Blue, you got your nerves because you don't listen to nobody. I'm saying outside of
At
Right.
me,
all.
outside of me, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the rest of y'all. No, I'm just playing. If we would take time to listen, we would find ourselves in better positions. I absolutely believe that. And again, even for me, right? I'm always jumping instead of just
Mm.
taking time to listen, to understand, right? Listen to gain that knowledge. Listen to not evaluate the next person, but listen to help evaluate yourself, right? So I'm glad you said that. Just staying on the whole thing of time. Listening takes time, and we all can choose. It's a choice. We all can choose to do it or choose not to do it. And you can get with this or you can get with that. Hey, you can get with the A. Okay, I'm just playing. But
All righty then. But
Lexical term.
you're right. I
it
want to
did.
say this about time. How ironic that the Pope passed away right after Easter. I
yeah.
thought about that this morning when I
Mm.
saw that, and I was like, wow, God allowed him to see one more Easter, and then, he took his rest. So I really thought that that was awesome, that he was actually even able to see another Easter when you think about the time. And
Mm.
one more thing I want to say to you, Vaughn. Let me piggyback off of what I said about sometimes, we can miss things and not do things in a timely fashion. One thing we can't do, we might can't change our past, but we definitely can direct our path in the future to make better choices. And if you feel like that you're knowledgeable now at 31, you wait till you hit 40 and 50, and that's when you really, in my opinion, you really wake up in your 40s. Because I thought I knew a lot in my 20s and 30, and I think back, and I was like, I really didn't know much at all. Knowing what I know today, and I was just like you couldn't tell me anything. I just thought I had all of the answers really all of my life. But every day I'm still learning. So you just become more awake and more awake, in my opinion, each decade. Every time a decade turns around, churn, it seems like you become more and more aware, and you learn a lot more each which each decade. And not saying that you're not going to learn within the decade, but you can look at the growth in yourself. That's, I can see my growth in myself. It's like every 10 years I can just see how far I come from where I was at.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
that's
And
good.
will.
I
I
said what I said.
Yes, I like that. I will say, like you said. So, and it's funny because my husband brings it up a lot. I remember when you was 21 and this is who I am and I'm not gonna change. And I be thinking back like, my God, like, he asked me that, to like troll me. And it's not recently, y'all. This is just something he would say to me when we be having certain conversations. Like, look how differently you think now versus then. But experience really is the best teacher, because I used to think, oh, I got it, I know. And it wasn't until I had my own kids, or, I had certain, financial experiences, spiritual experiences, where it was like, man, I thought I knew. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I'm doing my lives with certain people and they talk about certain things, I don't really like too much to touch it, because in my mind, I was busybody and had all this mouth, and you couldn't tell me nothing, and I'm not gonna say God, put every bad thing in my way, but I feel like He humbled me, not to put my mouth on people and think I'm better than, or think I know more, or think I would never. And it's just like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
I hear you. I heard you last night catching yourself. So yeah,
Yeah, because it's
I'm
like,
noticing it.
no,
You
I
like, no,
don't
I'm
want
not
them
gonna.
problems.
You was like, no, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna just go on. I heard you several times.
Hmm.
Within the past week, just catching yourself. So yeah, I've been noticing it.
I saw that
yeah,
Yeah.
too.
I
I
think that if we
said,
actually, if we were all honest with ourselves, we would all admit that there was a time we thought we knew it all.
Come on now.
I
mhm.
know
Yeah,
I can admit that. I still don't know it all. So,
right. I just
you
admitted
know,
it.
when
Yes.
I was a teenager and in my 20s, you couldn't tell me nothing. So,
It
yeah.
still can't.
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
you
say
have.
this.
Go to the
I don't
corner,
be
Blue.
trying to tell Miss Alice anything, so I haven't had that experience.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Stay in that position, Vine. Don't
Right,
never
Shay.
don't always stay in that. I ain't gonna tell Miss Alice nothing. Stay in that chair all the time. Cause if you don't, baby, listen. That's all I'm gonna
Mhm.
say.
And y'all, let me interject before y'all start going at it. It's never too late because if you go look at the scriptures, right? What age did Yeshua? What age did Jesus start his ministry? Remember, he was cultivating all those years and traveling and doing what he was doing, and he started at around 30 or 31 until when he died at 33. Same thing was like like Moses. Moses didn't start young. He like when he was chosen by God. I think he was in his 50s, 60s, or 70s, like something like that. And if you look at all these people's ages, it started for some odd reason between the ages of like 30 and like 80. Sarah and Abraham. Oh, what they really wanted. I want a baby. And she had a baby at 80 years old.
Come on,
Yeah.
sir.
So it's never too late. He can use you. But you notice that a lot of them don't really, you know, it's never really at 12, 13, 17, maybe been a handful, but through those years you're cultivating. It's like a free space to learn, but then it's like once you're chosen, it's just like, okay, fun time's over. So don't look at it as, oh, I could have been doing this and this at this age and this and that. I've seen miracles and people get this and all types of stuff in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So it's never, you can't look at it like that. And what you were saying earlier, I was just telling somebody about the regret thing. Don't go back and sit at things that you regret, like, oh, I regret not doing this. I wish I could have. Because if you sit at that same space, you're going to keep telling yourself, well, since I didn't get to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be able to do it. So then you put yourself inside this negative space, like, well, it didn't work out for me. So I'm not going to try it anymore. I'm not going to do it. It's just like, don't sit in regret. It's just probably
Listen,
time.
self-doubt is,
Yes.
man, it is the devil. I just have to say it because it puts you in a space of I can't, I'm not good enough, I shoulda,
Mhm.
coulda, woulda. You're just constantly living and reflecting in the past. When I tell you I've been set free, baby. Okay, like listen. Like it, yes, yes. It don't do that. And it's not easy. You really have to, you have to want to be different. You have to like really want it, and not just talk about it, but make decisions and movements in life, that should, like, hey, I don't want to be like this. And that's why I listen to Blue a lot, because she does a lot of, positive, upbeat talk, talking
Mhm.
to yourself. It's not always about what other people and negative people. It's about you. It's like she do the mirror thing. It's about looking at you and what you can fix in you. So, that for me, I can honestly say that dark headspace is a dangerous place, and it is definitely the trap of the devil for you to be constantly living in the past. And it's not even more so action, it's a mental thing. Like
That's
you're
right.
always stuck on what you could have done different or what you should have done different. And it's like you have to forgive yourself and move on, and ask God to help you, because I'm gonna keep it real. We can't do that on our own. You
That's right.
cannot. When people be out here, I took myself out the mud and did baby, that was God.
That's right. And like
Yeah.
you said, Vaughn, it's the mindset. When you get your mind right, you inadvertently change your entire life. The mindset, right? As much as we, not as much as we, because maybe everyone doesn't do this, but when we say I, something, something, we negatively affirm ourselves way more than I think we consciously realize that we're doing it. It's just like a flip of the tongue, and we are negatively affirming ourselves. We're thinking about the past, we're dwelling on the past, and we are taking that precious time, that precious gift, and wasting it, right? It's not other people wasting our time. We are often
Mhm.
wasting our own time
Mhm.
because we talk so bad about ourselves. I this and I that, and it's
Mhm.
negative, negative, negative. The world is not the self destructor of us. We are self destructing ourselves. But when we
Amen.
get into the mindset, let this mind be in you that is also in Christ Jesus. And I don't give a flying fig Newton if it's not Jesus you believe in. It's a higher power than you. Like Vaughn said, you ain't pulled yourself, Blue, why you saying ain't? You haven't pulled yourself out of nothing, but you did probably get yourself in there. And then that higher power, the most high, the creator of all creation, the only God that
Mhm.
deserves a big
Mhm.
G, pulled
Mhm.
you up out that mess that he didn't put you in. You had a choice. And you chose to get down in there. And then he said, okay, my child, my daughter, my son, I got you. And he pulled you up out of that. Girl, you better come on here. Look, we finna take up offering, okay? Listen, we have to get our minds right, right? Our
Mhm.
mindset, it kind of starts there. It starts with your mind. It starts with your feelings, your emotions. Feelings and emotions are not the same. We talk about them like they're the same, but Google it. Feelings and emotions are different. It's one that leads to the other. Okay. So when we get our mind right and our feelings under control and our emotions under control, not our own personal control, but the control of the higher power, so to speak, we realize that we will take time to shut our mouths and listen. We will take time to open our eyes and actually see those things as though they were. We will take time to hear what we need to hear. And what we need to hear and see and understand is who we are through the eyes and the understanding of the person that created us. You know what I'm saying? So that was a lot to say off of what you said, but it's just powerful, right? This is Alice. This is a powerful
Yes.
panel. This is a
Yes.
powerful
Mm.
topic. And my prayer is that we all will leave out of this today differently than how we came in here, that we will take time to look at that precious gift that we have differently than we have before today.
Amen.
Mm. Good, good. See, and then everybody could leave refilled and learn something off one another. This is
Y'all
very
can't leave. They can't leave until they send us $20. Miss Alice,
Oh.
hit Miss Alice cash
I was just finna put my church finger up and roll out.
Uh,
app.
I said what I
And
said. I was like, let me go in the basement and grab my cake and my Kool-Aid and get up out of here.
right, right. And tell y'all that was sure a nice sermon, but I gotta go. Sure appreciate everything.
uh,
wild, wild.
But yeah, Alice,
oh,
I'm gonna drop down. Um, I got these headsets on and they're making my ears kind of hurt right now.
okay.
It's because I be having them on too much, okay? And
Mm.
I just wanted to get permission from Senna though to see if I can go down. I thought we were gonna get away with, kind of doing it the way Alice wanted to do it since Blue wasn't here. But Blue, Senna took your place today. She she
Wait, I
she
missed it. Blue
yeah,
did what?
Senna took your place, and so she was the boss today. And I
Hmm.
told and I told Alice in the beginning of the show she has the bossiest channel I've ever been a part of.
She does not.
Oh,
She does
okay.
not, because when she's not over here on her own channel, she
Uh-huh.
leads the bossy crew of both of mine. So she's
Not true.
probably the third bossiest channel. Listen,
And Senna
Not
said I
true.
can go. Senna, thank you, Senna. I sure appreciate that.
I hope don't nobody think they off the hook because Cinna let I said what I said go. We still gotta get her $20. We know where you be at. I said what I said. We know where you be at.
I got you. I
Vine, I'm
got
gonna
you.
ask you like I asked. I'm gonna ask you, Vine, like I asked the last person that was trying to take up money. Did you send yours yet?
Yeah, cause
I'm
last
just
week I
saying,
was the
Blue.
first one to send mine's Blue. Last week Mr. Marjan, almost put a pow to our head and made us do some things. So I don't know if I'm
Girl,
we-
and
I'm I don't know if I'm
listen,
welcome in this channel no more. With so many
shut
bosses.
up,
I don't
Blue. Be
know.
quiet.
But
Vine, did you send your 20 yet? I just want to know. Did you send your
Don't
20 yet?
worry about don't do as I say, not as I do. Blue.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
Okay.
Well, listen,
oh.
you could forget that. That's not gonna work. Okay, you supposed to lead by example. You the one said it, so you need to be the first one hitting that cash app.
Von say that part ain't she ain't woke up on that part yet, have you, Von?
Wait
You
I
a
ain't
got a
seen
minute.
the you
Let
question.
ain't
me
seen the
Wait,
light
wait,
on
wait.
that part.
Hold on. I
say to
got a
Vine what
question.
she said to me. Is that biblical, Vine?
No, I was gonna ask Miss Alice. Is that biblical that I have to lead by example, or is it do as I said, not as I? Which one is which?
um,
Yours definitely is not biblical, ma'am. Okay.
I don't know where it
No.
is but I'm looking to see if I see it. But I was thinking that it said you have to lead by example.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
I'm looking it up
I
now.
guess.
I'm
One
I
for
giggling.
guess.
one for Tia.
I'm
Oh, by
I'm
the way,
kidding.
y'all been calling me Blue, but the name on the panel say Tia. I don't know why y'all keeping up with this blue stuff. I'm not blue right now. I specifically put Tia up there.
Yes,
So
ma'am, Tia.
you
So
Ain't
know.
nobody finna call you that. I said what I said. We ain't got to call. Her name is Blue.
I still got my church finger up. I'm trying to exit out because I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a part of none of this. I'm not trying to be a part of the argument, the donations, the none of it. I'm trying to get out to go get my cake and my sour Kool, my orange purple Kool-Aid is what I'm trying to go get.
Not orange purple Kool-Aid.
Yeah, my orange purple Kool-Aid is what I'm trying to get.
Hmm.
But
I
Alice,
feel
thank you for allowing me to be on the panel. It's been a blast.
like
It's been like Tia said, it's been a great panel today, and I really enjoyed the subject.
Oh,
And
you're welcome. Thank you.
I appreciate
mhm.
that. And you guys have a great day, and I'm out.
And she's
See
blue.
you.
You can
I
call her
said what I
blue.
said. I was finna say, Miss Alice, if I change my name to Kevon, are y'all gonna start calling me that? Because like when
Absolutely
does
not.
First of all, I didn't change my name to nothing, ma'am. Okay, that's my name. Okay,
That's
Is
her
that
thank
name
you.
too.
oh
I
Kivon
was
is your
Say
name?
my
I mean,
name, say
yes,
my name.
oh
Kevon.
No one
So
is around me.
everybody, matter of fact, I'm finna change it. So, and
That's
we gonna see
yes.
how many Kevons we get out of Vaughn today, Blue.
okay. I think the old English can do
He
Kivon
get a
or is it gonna
Von get
be
on my nerves so much.
Kivons? Is it gonna be Kivons? We gonna have an S with it
Lord have mercy, no, ew.
or a
We just
Z? I
had
mean,
this
Kevon.
conversation. That I don't know why people want to call that lady Vines with an S.
Me
I do
either, Blue.
understand why, but that is so funny. You were real when you were in the line when we were explaining that the S
Yes,
doesn't belong.
he was
Oh, okay.
he was the
sure
one putting the
was.
Z's and the money sign and any type of S he could think of.
We paying
Par-
attention
But
as
you
we
know
do.
something?
parentheses.
Our people always want to add an S to something. You heard people say women's and men's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, peoples,
That's y'all people,
speech.
not our people. That's your people. Your people, your president. That's your stuff.
Oh,
White Castles, Jewels,
yup,
Kroger's,
yup, yup. White Castle.
all these
Well, some of those
Mm-hmm.
actually are supposed to have
Walmarts.
the S.
Like which
It's not
one?
called Jewel. Is it called Jewel Osco or is it called Jules?
It's called Jewel Osco. No S.
Oh, okay. They still exist somewhere.
Yes, we got a lot of them in Illinois.
Mm.
Whole lot of.
Shall Aquarius is
Alice
They
gonna get me
look.
later for saying
Why
They
that S.
say
Shadow come in here when somebody talking about White Castle?
because they say White Castles and nails. I gotta go get my nails and feet did. You'd be like,
I
what?
know that's right, Jimmy. I see
Yeah, that's
Huh?
just that's
feet. I
just
gotta
Hey
get my
us
feet.
Shadow.
being ignorant and not talking like they have common sense. That's what that is.
But
Going to
but
get my
no,
hair
Blue.
did.
Some things are dialect. Some things are
Walmart's.
dialect. We have to remember that dialect.
Hmm.
Yeah, somebody said that
Pig
about me
feet.
the other day. Like when I was like all y'all's, I was like when all y'all's, and then I was like, oh, I said that. So somebody caught that when I called y'all all of y'all's up
I
here.
I don't want
I
chicken
talk
breast. I
funny
want
on
chicken
purpose
strips.
sometimes, especially when I'm
Chicken
trying to get my
strips.
point across. So I will say all of
Right.
y'all or y'all, and I could
Yeah,
just be talking to a you, okay? Or I'll say her when I'm talking to a her, okay? It just depends.
yeah. And it's fine because in actuality, if y'all haven't even noticed this, when y'all start speaking what people so-called call Ebonics, you're actually speaking Old Ye English Part Two of the 1600s because it sounded like that, like well, ye of all of y'all's, and it just got switched. So they changed the vowels to more like O's, U's, and they added the J. So you people are thinking that it's like, oh, this is Ebonics. No, you're going back to the Old E English Part Two, when the Roman this and that took over. It was something that I learned and I read. I was like, oh, so they just keep changing. Everything keeps changing.
All right, Mr. Education. Thank you.
Well,
That
here
was that
here's
was good.
here is my excuse. I grew up in the suburbs, okay, and my family, my father's side is from the city. So when I went to go live with my father, everybody would say I talk like a white girl and I'm proper. Actually, my some of my cousins call me an Oreo. So
Mhm.
I to not want to be so odd because when I came to Chicago, it was like, oh, I know you ain't from up here, and I could tell by the way you walk and the way you talk, and they would talk about that I was polite because of my manners, like, oh, you're so nice, because people in the city don't have manners, they just rude, they don't say excuse me, they don't speak to nobody, they're rude to the like the cashiers, and stuff like that. And I just wasn't raised like that. So it was like I'm being nice and polite, just because I'm saying excuse, like people just bump past you and you be like, what? You walk in the room, folks don't speak. I didn't understand that. It's like, why everybody so mad?
Because
Why-
people were raised with manners. Some people were raised with manners and being considerate, and some weren't. I got the same thing, Vaughn. You know, You talk white, you sound white. Listen, I'll give a flying fig Newton now what they say. I can switch up like a chameleon if I
Right.
really need to. You know what I'm saying? But I was taught
Mhm.
that way. See, it's how you were taught, it's how you were raised.
Yeah.
Um, even, having been in an all black community, but going to a all white school as a child, and then going to an all black university, it was like culture shock, right? Because them Negroes was like, she, why does she talk like that? It was always, where are you from? Where are you from?
Mhm.
Look, and at 18, I was very immature. Where you from? Why you worried about, you know what I'm saying? And quickly I would switch up. They'd be like, oh, okay, she still got a little black in her. No, I got a whole lot of black in me. I'm just not gonna stick with the what is it called when a certain people think a certain race does the stereotype. I'm not gonna deal with the stereotypical stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? However, I'm talking my voice is powerful, point blank, period.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, girl. I heard the same thing. I don't care now though.
No, it don't bother me because
Yeah.
I notice a lot of you know, black people. It's like now, they're like defending. Oh, it's not talking white. It's called being educated, being raised right, and everybody ain't got to be from the hood. So I just noticed a difference, and it's like like my kids when they go around my cousins, they don't get picked on for sounding, white because my older cousins or cousins in the same age group, their kids are being raised. They want their kids to be raised in the suburbs. They want them to, know how to speak proper English and carry themselves a certain kind of way. And it's like, oh, okay, so people get it. That it's not it wasn't that, oh, people thought, well, don't get me wrong, some people did feel that they were better than my relatives in the city. But we all come from the same bloodline. So just because you live in the suburbs and you didn't have this hard knock life, it doesn't make you better than people who were raised in the city. If you ask me, I feel like, the cultured black people, what they say ghetto and hood. If you ask me, they're fun and you can learn so much from them. You learn how to survive. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to not be so open and trusting because there is danger out here in the world. You're not just like all lollygag and stuff, but everybody
Yeah.
don't look at it like that.
No, there is some truth in that right there, because being from a certain area, and if you raise a certain way, it'll have you too like oblivious and dumb, not knowing certain things. So like I was telling somebody that the other day, there's positives to living out of both aspects, whether you come from the hood or the ghetto, or come from like the suburbs area. There's positives and negatives. Just like if something go down, right, and society starts to fall apart and things start to get too high, if you were raised inside the ghetto and didn't have much, when that starts to happen and you didn't have a whole lot growing up, guess what? That's not going to affect you. You're like, oh, I've been through this. I can survive off of as little as possible. I don't care about having no
Hmm.
man brand clothes. That right there is the benefit. Is the benefit. Because then the people who got all this money and everything, as soon as that starts happening, they're unaliving themselves and they can't handle it and freaking out and going
Hmm.
on. I see it.
Cause yeah, my cousins used to call me soft because I would cry about everything, and but I had to learn how to defend myself because at one point my cousins would defend me, when other people made fun of me, and I'd be kind of confused, like, well, what are you just talking crazy? But I'm still their family, right? And then when I started to go to school by myself, it was like, okay, now I have to get loud and I gotta be extra, to get like, no, you just because I talk proper, I'm nice, don't mean you can just take advantage of me. Did I overkill it? Sometimes I did, but I enjoyed it too because it was like, yes. But we'll talk about that another time.
Right, right. But
Everyone, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Watch more content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out Alice's other two channels. They've been dropped throughout the links have been dropped throughout the chat. Um, and then if you watch the replay, if you're watching the replay, please comment after. Even if you watched or commented now, comment after. It helps the channel grow. We trying to get Alice to 5K. And also she needs help with her watch hours. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Vaughn, I just said it. Don't come in behind somebody saying it and say it. You stop.
Yeah,
Shut up,
y'all
Blue.
like, comment, and subscribe. I said
Oh
it. I
Lord.
did.
I, I'm getting bye.
Exactly, real. Exactly.
Vaughn, you know why I'm saying that. Don't do me. You know I was just messing with you. You know exactly why I just said that to you. So stop it. Don't be
I knew
have
that's
me
why
up
she
here
did
acting
it.
like I'm just by myself.
Miss Alice, I'm having so much fun.
I can't with
Everybody
y'all.
saying the same thing at the same time, just back to back to back to back to back. I'm going on mute.
Feel
Okay.
like, yeah.
Moderators in the chat, can you please drop the links for all of the moderators, including yourself, everybody who has a channel, including um I don't think Shay has a channel yet. But if you want to drop Shay's channel, feel free to do so. Hopefully she'll decide one day to do some content. Meanwhile, we can still subscribe to her channel.
What
And
links are we dropping?
also all of the moderators.
Oh, okay.
Senna, I said what I said. Um, Abril, Real, Blue, Vaughn, and also Jamila. Drop Jamila's link as well. And I'm not going to rush to get off. I'm going to wait for everybody to drop the links. Thank you, Senna.
Great topic, Alice. Great topic.
Definitely brought
Thank
out the best
you.
in all y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah, great
I
topic.
agree. Miss
It
Alice
brought out
always
the
has
breast in all
wonderful,
y'all.
wonderful topics. I enjoy it.
No,
Well,
no, no,
thank
no.
y'all for supporting.
Oh.
Absolutely stupendous topic. Y'all ain't gonna outdo me.
I'm still on the it brought out the best in all of y'all. It didn't bring out some goodness in you?
It
Hello?
did. It did and did and
Oh,
did.
okay.
It did. Got my refill. Like I'm feeling like I'd have left a round table of women who wear white gloves and like big church hats with nest on top. Like this is how I feel right now.
Lord have
Thank you,
mercy.
Senna.
Well, I'm gonna say this: you ain't gonna catch me in no big hat, but some white gloves and a headband with some bad boots, baby. Bye. Okay, a nice skirt. I'm just trying to tell you.
Okay, deaconess.
Look, I don't know about them big old hats, but yeah, yeah.
Drop both of Abril's channels, y'all.
Definitely sitting here trying to make my shake.
Thank you for the link drop.
Definitely think. Yeah.
Vines without an S channel. I love it, Senna.
Right? Bond.
No S.
Vine, why somebody started calling me Blues? Hey Blues. I said it's there's no S on that.
Yes, it is.
They want to do blues like Vines. I said, we're not doing that.
Because it's Blues plate, just like it's Bond's channel. So if that's what we see with our eyes, that's what we just gonna call y'all. I
No.
mean, but
Mm-mm.
yes.
Vine and I stand together. We come united to say no. It's Vine and
Something
Blue.
contagious about that S.
Girl, listen.
It feels
I
weird
said,
saying
what
it,
you
but
mean? Hey Blues. What is that? Who is that?
like Blues Clues. I mean, excuse me, but you know what I mean. Just like it's just like normal, like Bonds and Blues. You know, like I don't know how to
Okay.
explain it. It just feels right to me.
Ooh, Vine, we should panel up and do something and just call it Vine and Blue. Well, B comes before V, so Blue and Vine.
Oh, whatever. Does K? No, it doesn't. Okay, whatever. Ah, K comes before T. D D D.
Right, but we not going by those names. So anyway, at
No,
the end of the day, I'm saying we should panel up and you should turn on your monetization and then we can panel up and do something.
Mm. Yeah,
When
y'all
you
get
no,
said vines and blues, I was like, oh, we should do something with that.
y'all would get
absolutely not.
monetized in one night. As many hours as y'all be spending, y'all would do it. Y'all
No,
would
I'm
do it.
saying she can turn hers on because
No.
I'm already there. We just got to turn it on and then hit the panel and just do a long
Ah,
live, just Vine and Blue, just chatting back and forth.
Are you at the first monetization part or the second one, like the 3,000 hour or the 4,000 hour? Because I know I think.
I'm fully on both.
Oh,
I just
excuse
haven't
me.
turned
she
it on.
look. She just ready. She's waiting for the right moment.
Yeah. It's partially on, but it's fully. I just haven't turned it on. I'm gonna turn it on after my birthday.
Oh, okay. Got
You know,
the
you
ad.
have that option to not turn it on,
And you can
right?
turn it off. Don't forget
So
that part.
you can't well if you have the option to turn it on, then that would mean you have the option to never mind.
No,
Um
because I didn't know that. I
yeah,
really
like
didn't.
you can go into your studio and turn your commercials off, right? So on every video. So I don't have nothing on, just my supers is on.
Thanks, Shay.
And then my membership and the commercials will be turned on after my birthday. So sometime next month. But yeah, we should do a like how we did 7.5 hours the other day. We should do that again. Chatting with Vines and Blues. Vine and Blue. Blue and Vine. Whatever.
But
It
what we
doesn't
gonna
matter.
talk about? Because we can pretty much talk about anything with me.
Anything.
You know.
Exactly.
It's y'all can do
It
it.
would just be a full blown we talk about everything. Anything. We can do like a Q and A or something.
Oh no, you can't
Well, I'm
ask me no
letting you know, and
questions.
now I'm coming up on a panel.
No,
Oh, you
and it
coming,
would
Miss
be
Alice?
no,
Me
didn't I
too.
just say this is gonna be a blue and vine and blue thing?
No,
Well,
y'all
I
trying to
didn't.
hog it up.
Don't
Listen.
nobody tell me what to do, so I'm coming
I
up.
know that's right. I was
Well,
telling,
then
tell him, but
go on your own channel then.
Miss Alice, you can
You
come
trying
out.
to you trying to steal our
Thank you, Vaughn.
you trying to steal our plan.
Well,
Oh,
Blue,
I got chicken.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know how it's gonna go because I don't like when people ask me questions. I like to ask the questions.
This is true. You do ask questions, but don't want nobody to ask you nothing. This is true.
Don't ask me nothing.
This is true. All right. Did they need help with the links? Cause I was gonna drop down there and help, but I got sidetracked. Oh, they got everybody.
Yeah, I think they got. I'm gonna give it a couple of more minutes. I don't want to get off too fast.
Oh, I got a question, Miss Alice. Can I interview you?
oh yeah,
As long as I get the questions first.
Oh, okay. So we can do a back panel and go over everything like they do on Oprah. Okay,
Hmm.
and then we go live and do it.
Okay.
Yay! Y'all don't know how excited I am. I've been asking everybody if I can interview them.
I want to do the
Blue.
same thing. I want to interview somebody on my channel. Like, who are you? What are you doing? Where do you come from? Like, that's gonna be my motto. And then it's like, like, why should people follow you, or what are you about? Because like some one of like a bigger YouTuber I follow, he told me that I should do that. He's like, even though I don't know why people stay inside your chat, you used to be yapping on, but I think you should interview people. That's what he says. And I'm like, like, and I know I said that with one of y'all. One of y'all I was going to try to interview, but I don't know how to go about it. But I was just going to wing it.
Oh, I know it wasn't me. It had to be Blue and Miss Alice.
It was somebody. It was one of y'all. I definitely when I asked it, I was like, that would be nice. Because then it's like,
Blue.
you could get different exposures to people on like my channel, and then, get even more subscribers, because sometimes, we could have a little stagnation. Like, I don't know. There's this thing I see when sometimes if people have been there, then you can get a whole new crowd of people to still come in too. Like, if that makes any sense. who want to hear that stuff, who hasn't been exposed to your content yet. And that way, it's just like
Mm.
the more the merrier. Because sometimes that's what we need too. It's just like, okay, I used to follow these channels when I was like younger, but now that I'm like getting a little bit older, I don't care about watching gaming channels anymore, or this or that. So now they got to get a whole new audience, and now my attention has shifted towards something else. So we got to get that whole new crowd in again, you know?
Key, I would have to go and do a whole lot of listening to Real's channel before I did that. Because so far, what I know about him, I don't know enough. No shade. I'm intrigued on certain parts, and others, it's just not enough. So,
Hmm.
yes, I could interview him.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
have to watch, so I wouldn't ask stuff that people already know. I will actually watch you to ask you things I think people don't already know, or like give them a different way of looking at you. Like, because a lot of times it's surface level, we think we know things about a person, but once you get to asking questions, it kind of reveals the mindset, right? Or character. It just it exposes a lot. But it's not. I'm gonna say this. There's a way, because there's a way you do it that's just bad.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah.
anti.
But the way I would want to do it is just, with surface level. Like, if people think like, oh, somebody stuck up or they're this or that, I would want to interview you in a way that shows the people you're actually human, if that makes any sense.
No, I get it because you know what? Somebody told me that like the other day. These two people, they're like, "Oh, I thought you were, this way, but you're actually like nice, or you're actually like a sweetheart, and you're funny." And I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Like, and I guess I don't know. To some people, I might come off a certain way until they get to know me. So I didn't even realize that. I didn't.
More.
Right. And Blue won't let me interview her. So
Wait a minute. I done heard my name a couple times. I'm multitasking because it's dinner time. I didn't say, when did I say you couldn't interview me?
when I asked you, when me and Miss Alice and Mr. Loud was on the panel, and you said if you hadn't already talked about things, then you would do it, but you told me no because you
I
feel
think
like
you
I'm
just
not
got to be
special enough.
careful with that because
Hmm.
when you're interviewing other content creators, or the word I prefer, influencers, you want them to be already established. In my opinion, it's good to already be established. Um, I just feel like sometimes the whole interviewing thing can just be weird, right? So I feel like I want people to know about me on my own panel, and then I can kind of go and share on somebody else's if it's something I haven't already shared. So that's why I said to you, the things that you wanted to ask me about was my spirituality or whatever. And I said, I've kind of already talked about that. So I would rather people go to Journey Mirror and hear that as opposed to hearing it on somebody else's platform. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
No.
Well, that's
But
okay. It
somebody can
makes
hear
sense to me.
But what if they
somebody
never
can
knew about?
hear
More.
her interviewing you, and they may not be subscribed to your channels. They could hear her
Mm.
interviewing you, and it
Exactly.
make them
That's
want to
good.
go to your channel.
Cause yeah, that's kind of what happens inside my channel. Like I got like if
Thank
I
you,
know
Miss
you
Alice.
and I vetted you, people have wrenches inside my channel, so I allow people to
Oh,
subscribe to.
And
I'm
plus,
sorry.
the way I ask questions, it's just gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be different. It's gonna be like a whole nother side of Blue.
well, Miss Alice's point is valid. Your point is valid. My point is valid. You asked me if you could interview me about that topic. I said I would rather people hear it on my own. I'm not saying you can't interview me at all about anything. I just didn't want to be interviewed on your platform about that, right? Because my spirituality is like an intimate thing, as I've said to you before. And so I want people to hear it there. But you can interview me about another topic as long as, like Alice said, you let me know what the topic is. You give me the questions first. Like I'm gonna be doing something with Wanda on her second channel, her soul channel, and she's gonna let me know ahead of time what it's about so that I can be prepared, right? So Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Ron, you can interview me about something else, just not that thing that you had already asked. Okay?
Vaughn, antisocial said that antisocial gamer said you can interview her.
Ooh, okay. Blue. So you want
I
me
don't know what
to
it is.
find something else to interview you about? But that's what I'm interested in. So how is that gonna work? How is that?
Vine,
What?
picture me right now doing a close up, okay? You
I
picturing it?
can see you. You should have seen my face when you were talking. I was like, ah.
Yeah, picture me doing a close up right now. Um, that cornbread was not good to me. You can have as much of the cornbread as you would like. Um, Daggone it. What was I about to say to you? Oh, it was right there. Holy Spirit, please bring it back. Um, oh, you said that's what you want to know about, which brings me back to Vaughn. If you would like to know about that specific thing, go watch my content. If you would like to interview me on a different topic that you might be interested in, you can do that, right? If you ask somebody, can I interview you? They have the right to say yes or no for whatever reason, right?
I'm
Hello?
working
This
on.
is true.
I'm working on that. I'm working on
And I'm going
not
to be
having
patient
my
with you.
way.
Yes,
But
please
somewhere
work on
in the
that.
future, I plan to interview you about your spirituality.
So,
And if you would like, we could talk more about it behind the scenes so you can see where I'm going with it, and maybe that'll change your mind.
yeah,
Just
you
maybe.
you you like to do things to help people change their minds, and I get that. That's kind of what I do with the right intentions. um but yeah, we'll talk about this later, because you finna listen. I'm trying to
What?
eat this chicken and mind my business, and you doing too much.
Okay, antisocial gamer. I will be looking at your channel so I can see what I can pull out of you in an interview. Okay.
Annoying self.
Blue
I
got a
feel,
lot of
Man.
nerve.
Don't
I,
she, Miss Alice? Don't she?
I got a lot of who?
I
You
feel
have a
like
lot of nerve.
What you mean? Can you be specific?
No, I can't.
Okay. Don't text me later and tell me if you can't tell me now. I'm blocking you. And you're fired, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm unfireable.
I've been rehired. Woo!
Dion, can you do me a favor and mind your business? Thank you.
Woo!
Did you say that to Dion?
I sure did.
Don't make me have to come to Michigan.
Listen, come on. My address is 4553 Lane Street Court Boulevard. You know what the address is. Come on. I'm
Yeah, I'm
ready.
on my way. That's what you're not going to do.
Agreeing. He agreed with you with a laugh. Don't agree with her. We're not doing that.
You hear what Santa said?
I didn't. I'm not.
She might
I'm.
have typed it, but I heard it.
What's she
She said,
say?
I cannot be fired.
Okay.
Santa is on it today.
Hey, Anti. Oh
Jamila
Lord.
said, Vaughn said, I want an interview and I want it now and said topic.
Right. I said what I said. She doesn't know the word no. She needs to take time, time, to understand the word no. Because to everything, there is a season for yes and a season for no. Don't y'all see how I brought that back to the topic of the day? Time.
Lord.
Look,
Do
since
y'all have
since I
any go ahead.
since we're in the spirit of interviews, I said what I said, girl. I would just love to crack your head open. I just gotta be But go
Not
ahead, Miss
crack her
Alice.
head.
But look, I be listening and I be hearing stuff and I be wanting to know. But go ahead, Miss Alice. Go ahead.
Lord have mercy.
No, I was going to say if y'all had any parting words. I think all the links have been dropped, but before your parting words, I want to see what I highlighted. So I'm not sure if who that is still here, but
My who dat.
she has a couple of things to say that I wanted to highlight. So she said she raised her daughter in an area where she could go to the best schools. When she retired, she sold her condo and moved into a very small apartment. Her daughter and her granddaughter, excuse me, said her daughter and her granddaughter, she said, felt like your kids, but I'm like, I got to do what's best for me. They have since accepted it, and I'm living my life like it's golden.
Living
75
my
and
life
just
like it's
came in
golden.
from the casino this afternoon. All right,
Yes.
I ain't mad at you. I am not
My
mad at you
who
at all.
dat.
And Abril is reminding everyone, she's saying, welcome to Alice Blessed Child of God's Live. Our host is Alice. That's me. Subscribe, share, set your notification to all, hit the like, support. Then she has my Cash App. And she also reminds everybody to join us in the chat. And she says, so good to see you.
Alice.
Thank you. Huh?
Don't laugh, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to Alice Blood Child of God's Lives. Our host is Alice. Subscribe, share, set up your notification bell to all, hit the like and support. Cash App, Alice Blessed Child of God. Join us in the chat. So great to see you all.
Vaughn, can you get her?
Miss Alice, it just got real hot up here, and I just want to leave.
Listen, Alice, you weren't supposed to laugh or say nothing. You just supposed to let me laugh and Vine laugh. Okay, I'm done. I'm done messing around. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you all have anything else to say?
I don't have anything to say other than Miss Alice. I just love you, and you're just so wonderful. And Blue, I just want to thank you for coming to the channel. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I love you, Miss Alice. Great
Love
live,
you too,
great
Vaughn.
panel. Okay. And Blue, stop it, okay? Because it's contagious and it touched me.
It jumped on you, Vine.
It did.
I'm sorry. Well, I just want to say for my final words, Alice, you are so wonderful. And thank you for this topic today. You just brighten up our day. And, we're so glad to have you in our life. And there's just nobody like you. And you're just so wonderful. And you are truly a godsend. And we just bless you. And we pray that, you get all the thumbs up you deserve and all the subscribers you deserve and all the watch hours you deserve. And okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Blue.
Miss Alice. Okay, y'all. I gotta go.
People gonna be like, why are they laughing? What's funny? I didn't do it. I'm okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming.
How do I get off of
So,
here? Oh.
thanks again to everybody who joined the live today. Let me go over my list to see who was here in the chat. Let me first thank everybody who watched from the bushes and for whatever reason were unable to comment. Thank you, Janice. You too. So, thank you, Jackson Tabasco. Thank you, the 5Gs, Janice, Miss Buckeye, who that, Jamila, Shay. Well, I'll come back to Shay. Marjan, Sharon Reed, Wanda, Mookie, Miss Boogie Down, Key, Joy Chit Chat, Shadow, Antisocial Gamer. And thanks to my mods who were here today. Bon, I said what I said. Senna, Shay, Real Eyes and Evens, Abril, and Blue. And to everyone who joined the channel, Jamila, Real Eyes and Even, I said what I said, Blue, Vaughn, and a special thank you to Janice, who tried to get onto the panel but was unable to. I appreciate you having the willingness to join. So, once again, God loves you all even more than I do. And I really do love you all. And so I'm going to play this music and then we're going to be gone. And if anyone wants to bless me, feel free. There's my Cash App. Thank you, Senna. Thanks again. And I really enjoyed your bossiness today. I really appreciate it.